Hello friends and welcome to Tutorials Point. So if you remember, we have covered two classes of nouns, right? And now we're going to go ahead and study about countable and uncountable nouns, right? You clear, right? What are nouns? We've already covered that. So here, if you read the name, it is countable and uncountable. So what do you gauge from the names like countable? What do you think it could be, right? So I know whatever you've guessed is correct. Let us go ahead and let us study the definitions and technical meaning or whatever is countable and uncountable noun in detail. So as I told you to guess, right? And I know by now you have guessed, and by now you also might have gauged that whatever you guessed was correct. So what is the meaning of countable? So countable means anything that can be counted, right? So like word countable means anything that could be counted. So all those nouns which can actually be counted are called as countable nouns. Now look at some examples. For example, trees, cups, cars, pens, shirts, tables. So don't we have their plural forms as well, right? So because we have their plural forms, and because we can actually count and put them in singular and plural terms, so they come in the category of countable nouns. So here, these are the nouns which can be counted. I already told you this. They may be singular or plural. This also we've discussed. Obviously, because something can be counted, so its singular and plural form both will be available. So example, you have trees, bags, tables, birds, all of these things can be counted, right? So mostly if you observe here, the plural form of countable nouns, so here also you see you have S. So S in the end would actually mean, okay, this is the countable form. Here also S. So most of the times whenever you form their plural forms, usually there is S in the end. But that's not the case always. Just remember, don't get get deceived by just seeing an S. No, that's not the case. For example, you have child, and what is the plural form child? It's children, right? So it could be different. Most of the times it could be S, but not always. So just keep this in mind, right? So for now, what are countable nouns? All those nouns which can be counted and hence have their singular and plural forms. Very easy, nothing tough. You just go ahead, let's go ahead and study about uncountable nouns. A lot of exciting stuff coming up. Stay tuned. Okay, so uncountable. What is the meaning of uncountable? So the name itself suggests, right? Something which cannot be counted or in other terms, in simple terms, we can say those nouns which do not have their plural forms, or put it even simply, those nouns where the singular and the plural forms are same, right? So look at the examples. So first of all, let's just read the definition. These are the nouns which cannot be counted, something that I've already told you. They are always singular, so singular or plural, it's all the same. You cannot put an S in the end and make it into a plural form. No, that's not the case. So they are always, you can always take them as the singular form only. Okay, so look at the examples. Wheat, you cannot call it wheats, right? Or you cannot call it milks. That's absurd. You can't do that. So which is why wheat, milk, tea, sugar, money, love, electricity, happiness, all of these, what are they? They are actually uncountable noun. Why? Because you don't have a plural form with them, right? So, now that you are going a little deep in nouns, don't you think these are new things that you're learning, right? And now that I already told you, what was the homework that I gave you? I told you to take a notepad, sit in your garden and write about plural and singular nouns, something that we read in the last video. Now that you have done countable and uncountable nouns, so do the same exercise, sit in the garden, sit on a chair, take a notepad and a pen, write down the names of countable and uncountable nouns that you see around you, right? So it becomes really easy for you to gauge the difference. Clear? So you now have a slight idea what is a countable noun and what is an uncountable noun. So let us go ahead and practice. Okay, so here's a list of nouns and you have to tell which amongst them is countable and which is uncountable. Very exciting, very interesting to learn. Let's go ahead. So milk. Of course, do you think it is countable? Do you think there is some word as such in English which is called as milks? No, that's not the case. So milk is uncountable. Room, of course you can count the number of rooms. So it is countable. Butter, absolutely right. You cannot count butter. You don't call it like butters or something, right? So butter is uncountable. Song, of course, it is countable. But music is not countable, mind you. So music is uncountable. Minute, of course, minutes. So it is countable. Tea. I love tea, let me tell you. But tea is not countable. Tea is an uncountable noun. Child, of course, is countable. And I told you the plural form of it, right? Which is children. So child is countable. Homework, my God, what a burden it used to be, right, in the school back then. But homework is actually uncountable, which is why probably teachers never realized, what a burden it would be, because probably they could never count it. Okay, so homework is uncountable. Key, of course, is countable, right? Easy and exciting, of course, because you learn something new. So here are the answers for you listed. So now here in the sentences, you have to use the correct option basis the noun that is present. If you feel it is countable or uncountable, is for you to gauge, and thereafter you're going to choose the right option. Okay. Could you pass me dash? I have spilled some juice on the floor. So could you pass me a cloth? According to the context of the sentence is correct. How dash money do you earn in a week? So how much money? Of course, because here in the context, money is uncountable, so you use much, you don't use many with it. I don't have dash time, so time here, this is something important for you to note. Time bases the context of the sentence wherein you are using it, could be used as a countable as well as uncountable noun, but usually the usage of time is in the form of uncountable noun. Just keep this clear in your mind. So here again, it is uncountable according to the context of the sentence. So I don't have much time. You won't use many with it because here it is considered to be an uncountable noun. So much is the right answer. Her dash very curly. I know. So isn't it so much fun to have curly hair? Don't they look really, really pretty? I definitely love them. So her hair is very curly, because here again is an uncountable noun. Clear? So here are the answers for you. Don't you think countable and uncountable noun was so exciting to learn? It was so new, so many new things that you got to learn here, right? So friends, this was all about countable and uncountable noun. We will meet again in the next video. Till that time, keep learning with Tutorials Point and Tutorix. And I'm sure you are definitely enjoying a lot learning with Tutorix, right? I'm not going to repeat again to tell you to download the app, and the link is there in the description box. I'm not going to tell you this thing again because I know you're already enjoying Tutorix, right? So friends, have a good day. Keep learning. We'll meet again.